Hi, my name is Nicholas Patrick, and I'm a professional film score composer. If you spent any time on YouTube, you know there's no shortage of music theory teachers, genuinely talented composers who can show you dozens of clever tricks and techniques. But I've noticed a gap. Almost nobody teaches how to approach film scoring, how to think about a scene, and how to structure your process so that all those tricks actually serve the story instead of just sitting there as tricks. There's no single right way to do this. Composers take wildly different approaches, and every one of them is valid as long as it's ultimately in service of the film. That said, staring down a new project can be genuinely overwhelming. Where do you even start? What's the first move? Even seasoned working professionals feel this. I remember Hans Zimmer in his own masterclass admitting that he still feels like a fraud sometimes, sitting there with nothing coming. So, as an exercise, I've rescored several cinematics, aka cutscenes, from the video game Battlefront II. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I approach them step by step in the hope that you'll walk away with something that you can actually use the next time you sit down to score something of your own. For many years, the majority of my approach was what is commonly known as see what sticks. But now my intuition benefits from a skill set that I've cultivated after years of experience. But when I got nothing, I fall back on see what sticks. Okay, so I've got my notes pulled here into the frame so you can follow along. All right, we're going to discuss my overall approach. This is the 1,000-foot view, and then we're going to narrow it down to make it a little bit more bite-sized. So follow along with me. All right, step one, the first thing you do, pretty obvious, right? Watch the film. Watch the film to learn the story and scan for overall feel. Overall tone and overall feel of the film and the thematic opportunities. What is a thematic opportunity? Theme music. It's my personal opinion that every good film has theme music, at least a main theme, or your characters might have themes or motifs. All right, themes and motifs are things that repeat, musical ideas that repeat throughout the film a few times, giving it its own unique flavor, its own feel, its soul. So once we identify, okay, a theme can go here at this time marker, a motif can go here at this time marker, then we can move on to step two. Step two might take you a little bit of time. Actually, write the themes and motif against the picture. What does that mean? Well, go to one of those time markers that you've already laid out, right? Probably one of the longer ones, and write the full theme. And I mean, write it against the picture, write it in your DAW. Flesh the whole thing out and see if it's working. This could take you a few days, could take you a couple weeks if you're really putting in the time. And I recommend you do because the theme music is the soul of the film. It's the thing that makes it cohesive. Okay, so once you've written a theme, at least one, right, or motif, break down the film. Step three, break down the film into little bite-sized pieces. What does that mean? Well, it's really easy to get overwhelmed. It's a big project, right? It's a whole picture. But if you just do little bite-sized pieces, each individual scene, and you only focus on that, it's really easy to get through it. So you go through and find out where scene one begins and scene two begins, right? You got scene one, it ends where scene two, scene three, scene four, right? Scene one's 2 minutes. 2 minutes isn't long. That's not anything that might overwhelm you. Let's say scene four is only 5 minutes long. That's not a big deal. If you're trying to score the whole picture, you're going to get overwhelmed. If you're just scoring 2 or 3 minutes at a time, that's not such a big deal. So put down those time markers where each scene begins and each scene ends. Okay, and then we execute. Step four. I go back to the beginning and I score the picture as I experience it. What does that mean? From start to finish, I press play and I score the film. I scored scene one, scene two, scene three, and so on. All right, so let's go through this one by one. Step one, watch the film, learn the story, scan for the overall tone and feel of the film, and we're scanning for thematic opportunities where the theme can go. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I've got a marker track here ready to go to mark my theme, or at least the taste.
Captain, she's highly trained. Deception, infiltration, extraction. She's special forces.
That's our first bit of dialogue. We've had an establishing shot and a first bit of dialogue. How does it feel so far? Does it feel serious? Feel serious to me. Perhaps that should inform our music. Clearly, we're about to be introduced to our main character. What does this feel like? Look at that slow rise of the head there, right? She's clearly supposed to be some kind of badass. I think that should inform our music. Actually, you know what? Let's put a theme right there. We're being introduced to the main character. It's a perfect opportunity. Let's back it up a little bit, shall we? Maybe here. Yeah, right there. Perfect. All right, so we don't have much time there. So what we'll have to do is write a taste of the theme.
Iden Versio.
Let's see if there's any more in here.
Inferno Squad.
Again, keep in mind, tone, feel. Has this moment changed from the next?
Commander Versio. You must be important. Look at me. So let's talk facts. That's what I'm here for. You have the activation code. I've got the ability to help you out. Just give me the code.
Okay, so for the sake of time, this is the general feel of the majority of this picture. There is another spot for a theme. I'm just going to plot it out. So he gives her a line, and then she turns his own line against him. The first time she speaks.
The Empire's time has come.
Right here.
You don't have to go down with it.
You're right. The Empire's time has come.
Boom, right there. Perfect time. On their exit, perfect time to put the theme in again. Why again so early? Because you want to plant the seed in their mind that this is the main character's theme. You can get away with that early in the film. You can pepper it in a few times, but you don't want to overdo it. But the big moment will come later in the film. Okay, so let's move on to step 2. And actually, this is where we would actually flesh out the theme. Now, I'm not going to flesh out the theme in front of you. I've already done it. It would take far too long. This would be a really long video, but I can show you what I did. So when we introduced the main character, I went with this, guys. Okay, so why? Why did I go with that? Because she's obviously supposed to be a badass. She's the main character. She's on the dark side, so we make it feel a little bit ominous. Let's go to the next one. I peppered in, I mean, literally the exact same thing, but on their exit. Let me back it up and include the line. It works better.
You don't have to go down with it.
You're right. The Empire's time has come.
Okay, so let's move on to step 3. We've done step 1 and step 2. This is step 3. There we go. Break down the film into little bite-sized pieces. Okay, now again, for the sake of time, I've already done this, so we don't have to go through the whole thing. Here is where scene 1 begins, obviously at the beginning of the film. Scene 2, where scene 1 ends, scene 2 begins. It's that simple, right?
She's highly trained.
And then scene 3, and then scene 4, and so on.
I've
already done all this, so we don't have to sit through it. But this is a crucial step. Do this so it's little bite-sized pieces. It will help you to keep from getting overwhelmed. Instead of seeing, it's more of a visual technique. Instead of seeing this whole big, long picture, all you have to focus on is this from here to here. from here to here. That's not a big deal. Same with the neck, from here to here. That's nothing to get overwhelmed about, right? Okay. And then step 4, then we go back to the beginning and I score the film as I experience it. This is execution time, right? This is where we dig in and actually start writing. Okay, so let's move on to the actual scene. We're going to talk about scene 1 to scene 2, just this establishing shot, and we'll move on to the next one and so on. So in the see what stick method, there are a few questions you can ask yourself that will kind of narrow it down so you're not just feeling blindly, because you could still be overwhelmed just scoring this little thing here. Like, what do I do? Well, the first question you ask yourself is the pace. How fast is this scene? Let's take a look. Now, are these ships? Yeah, they're dropping down to hyperspace, but are they racing towards this cruiser? Is that cruiser really busy? No. It's basically stationary in the background, and they're just zooming in. Does this call for really busy music? No. Does it call for something super duper slow? No. If you could do no music, it might stand on its own. But if you were going to write something, what would be the pace? What would be the pace? How fast? So for me, this is medium paced. You got the only movement you have in the scene are these ships cruising. There doesn't appear to be really any danger or anything like that. Again, this cruiser in the back is stationary. Okay, so tempo, somewhere in the middle, not real fast, not real slow. Okay, let's ask ourselves another question. All right, tone. Within this scene, it has its own emotional feel. Now, don't get bogged down with all of this. Really, your intuition should tell you a lot. All right, so within tone, you've got the sonic world. Okay, basically the genre informs this. This is basically sci-fi. Star Wars is sci-fi, kind of leaning into fantasy. All right, so that's really what we would write. But even genres are sometimes on a spectrum. So grounded or earthly, all the way up to otherworldly, organic or mechanical, ancient and mythic to present to the future, right? This informs what style of music you write. So the emotional feel, also on a spectrum. You have joyful, and everything in between down to sorrowful, tender and everything in between up to menacing, serious and everything in between to comedy, hopeful to despairing. What is this scene? I would say it's, what are our clues? All right, you got your ships pulling in. I would say it's pretty serious. Like, it seems like a pretty serious tone. Look at the color palette. This big giant ship. We're out in space. It doesn't seem like it's a comedy or romantic or a horror, but it does seem serious. Okay, so that informs us. What else? Scale. Okay, these three are basically just the same way. The different ways to say the same thing. Intimate up to epic. Sparse to lush, restrained to sweeping. I'd say this is in the area of epic, right? I wouldn't put a solo piano or a solo cello to this, right? I would put probably a big grand orchestra. Okay, so 2 questions we've asked so far. Pace, how fast? Medium pace. Tone, sci-fi, fantasy, and probably sweeping and epic, serious. Okay, and step 3, themes and motifs. Now, we've talked about themes and motifs, and if you followed along with me, you've already marked out where those are going to go, but there might have been missed opportunities, so just keep an eye out for that. And then 4, see what sticks. You just start executing. So you go to scene 1 and you just start writing against the picture. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it doesn't work very well. Sometimes you're feeling around until you find the right voice. But just keep doing it until you land on something. And when you land, it should click. Okay, so I'm going to show you with what I came up with for the establishing shot. So all those things, it's serious, it's sci-fi, it's sweeping, it's the medium pace. I've answered all those questions. Let me pull my notes up here. Medium pace, Sonic World, it's sci-fi. Feeling emotion, it's serious. Scale, it's grand and sweeping. Themes motif, no, it's not really appropriate yet. And see what sticks. That's just the writing, you know. So I'm gonna play it again for you. Come on. So I've got the woodwinds doing a little bit of an ostinato to create a bit of mystery. I've got brass to make it big and epic. I've got strings, making it a bit suspenseful, and I have a little bit of sound design in there. This long moaning, ooh, it really opens with it, and a tail end of it helps me bleed into the next scene.
Captain.
Okay, before we move musically into that next scene, let's start the process all over again. Like I said, bite-sized little pieces. So what are our clues? Tone, right? Tone, pace. We don't really need to re-answer the other question, you know, like Sonic World. We already know that. So what's our tone? What's our pace? What's our feel?
Captain, she's highly trained. Deception, infiltration, extraction. She's special forces.
So you've been handed this project, right? You're the composer. What clues do you have? What gives you any indication of what this might need? All right, to me, look at the color palette. Look at the brisk pace that she's walking. Listen to the tone of her voice. And notice he says nothing.
She's highly trained. Deception, infiltration, extraction. She's special forces.
Right? We're getting background information on, or we're getting our first bit of information about our main character, right? She's basically telling us that she's a badass. Look how seriously he's taking this. That long pause, right? So that is our next scene. Let me show you what I went with.
Captain, she's highly trained. Deception, infiltration, extraction. She's special forces.
So, I wrote a piece of music that is commonly known of. This style is called quiet intensity. It's very common. It's in a lot of movies, especially if stakes are high, but you need to be quiet or sneaky. You hear it in action movies all the time. It's not the big action scene. It's like action music, but it's tucked way down underneath. But it definitely elevates the seriousness and the pace. Okay, so what is our pace?
She's highly trained.
What is our tone?
Deception, infiltration, extraction. She's special forces.
Something I want to bring up. So that little bit of sound design, I started the first shot with it, and I use it to tie these two together. So So you'll hear that whining, moaning there. It plays on the tail end of this cue right into the second section.
Captain, she's highly
You hear it bleed into that next section. So that's my way of connecting these two. Yes, I think of this as its own thing, and I think of this as its own thing. But I also am conscious about connecting them and making them bridge. You don't always have to do that, but it's a useful trait.
trained.
Okay, so let's move on. You've already heard this. I'll just let it play. Okay, so moving on to the next scene.
Iden Versio. Inferno Squad.
Again, we're asking ourselves, what is the pace? How fast should this music be? And what is the tone? Should it be serious? Should it be as the quiet intensity that I had before with the bum 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 dinna dinna dinna?
Deception,
Oh, oops. 1 second. Should it be like this?
infiltration, extraction.
It's got all that going on? Probably not. Right? Probably not. Oops. Bear with me. All right, this needs to be its own thing.
Iden Versio.
What clues do we have? This guy is very much in charge, right? She's a prisoner.
Inferno Squad.
He's walking around her. Listen to the tone of his voice. He sounds very much in control. All this should inform the color palette, the speed at which he's walking. All of this should inform the music.
Commander Versio. He must be important. Look at me.
See that right there? That where she looks away? That's a perfect opportunity to write something specific. So there are usually a few different writing styles I've seen composers do. One is called scoring to picture, where you're setting the mood, but you score from moment to moment, and you musically represent or musically mark things that are happening in the film at real time. That might be a perfect one. Another style is just setting the mood, where you're basically just kind of writing a song that sets the mood, and it doesn't really react to what's going on the screen. Sometimes that's perfectly valid, but personally, I like to score to picture, where the music kind of lives and breathes with the film. It dances with it in real time. It's more work, but I think the payoff is much better. I think you get a better finished product. And this is an opportunity. When she looks away, it's just a little thing, but that disdain on her face is a perfect opportunity to market. There's another one coming up later. I'll point it out.
So let's talk facts. That's what I'm here for. You have the activation code. I've got the ability to help you out. Just give me the code. You know we can really use someone like you.
This feels different, right? I wouldn't call this a new scene. This is the same scene, but there's a shift here. And I think we should know. I'm just going to play it through, and then I'll tell you my thoughts.
You know we can really use someone like you. Just help me and I'll help you. It's that easy.
Notice this camera angle here. It's just slightly askewed. I think it's really kind of brilliant. He's trying to manipulate her. It's an interrogation / manipulation, and this slightly turning the camera just off kilter makes it feel a little unsettling. I really do think it's brilliant. And I think the music, again, this should inform the music.
I'm gonna get what I want eventually. My best technicians are slicing into your droid right now.
Right there. Remember what I said, score to picture, dancing and breathing, reacting in real time? When she leans forward, she's menacing. It's a threat. I'm about to do something. They pull up their guns, right? Hey, you better sit down. I'll shoot you. All right. So
Right now.
I personally, that's an opportunity to something to mark, something to musically represent that will give your movie more flavor. The music won't just set the tone; it will react and heighten that moment. And I did exactly that.
Yeah.
I'll show you a bit.
Take on my offer. All I want is the code.
Okay, and
The Empire's
that's
time has come.
we're coming up on the end of this scene.
You don't have to go down with it.
You're
Okay,
right.
so let's go back to the start, and I'll show you what I came up with.
Iden Versio. Inferno Squad.
I got some high strings. I got little synth staccatos. Boom, 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 doom, doom, doom. The low, menacing, ominous bass in the cellos and the double basses.
Commander Versio. You must be important. Look at me. So let's talk facts. That's what I'm here for. You have the activation code. I've got the ability to help you out.
Okay, so right there, that 3-note drop, da na na, that's a place where I squeezed in the motif. It's very, very subtle. So step 3, themes of motif. Are there opportunities to work in themes or motif, hints or little touches of those themes? I worked it in right there. Now I know it's just a 3-note drop at this point, but that's all we've introduced so far when we talked to her for the first time here. So after she has that look of disdain on her face, I do a little hint of it. Now, that might not be something anyone notices, but you plant those little subconscious seeds in there, and they really do have an effect later on.
Look at me. So let's talk facts.
here.
That's what I'm here for. You have the activation code. I've got the ability to help you out. Just give me the code.
So what does this sound like so far? What's the pace? Pretty slow. We're walking slow. He's walking slowly around her. There's not a whole lot of action. It's just him speaking. He's totally in control. It's dark and dingy. So switching from space. Excuse me, I'm jumping around. The pace is basically slow, right? The mood is mysterious. She hasn't spoken a word. We don't know her. We're learning about her. We don't really know him, right? There's a lot of I don't know in the movie right now. So we got mystery and we have ominous and those little synth staccatos add a little suspense, right? The high strings add suspense. The low strings add an ominous feel. We've got kind of a cluster of things going on here.
Yeah.
One more time.
Inferno Squad.
You hear all that? Okay, so moving on. Remember when I said it feels different here? Like it feels like a shift. When he sits down and he starts interrogating her, it does feel different. So I don't think of this as a new scene, but I did think it was time to switch up the music a little bit and really pull in. He sits down and he leans forward and he's trying to manipulate and interrogate her and it feels a little creepy. Like he offers her, you could be friends. We could be on the same side, right? So I tried to mark that musically, represent that, I should say, musically, that creepy feel.
Well, just give me the code.
Right here.
You know we can really use someone like you. Just help me and I'll help you. It's that easy. I'm gonna get what I want eventually. My best technicians are slicing into your droid right now.
And see, I marked that moment there where she leans forward. So it sounds really creepy. It's just this little do 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 do. But if you notice, I lift it. So I have this little pattern that I'm doing. I've got some low strings underneath it. Um, and I after a pass of it, I raise it like a minor third or something, so that I can get a little bit more mileage out of it. Because if I just stayed doing the same do 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 over and over and over, it gets a little tired. So that's a neat little trick. If you have a cool little motif or a cool little ostinato or something, and you want to get more mileage of it, just change the key after you've done it a few times.
You know we can really use someone like you. Just help me and I'll help you.
It changes
It's that
here.
easy. I'm gonna get what I want eventually. My best technicians are slicing into your droid right now.
And just here, nothing but high suspended strings. That's it. Automatic suspense. Suspense. Such an easy trick. Everyone's been doing it for years. It's a trope at this point, but it works. It works.
Take on my offer. All I want is the code. The Empire's time has come. You don't have to go down with it.
You're right. The Empire's time has come.
Okay, so this next part is basically quiet intensity again into major intensity. It's something that grows into a bit of an action cue. It's mainly, eighth and 16th note staccatos with, long strings underneath it. It's mostly setting the mood, but you'll notice changes throughout it that keep it interesting. I changed keys and I pepper in some staccatos here and there. When you write an action cue, again, I mentioned that there's a few different styles. Sometimes people just set the mood. Basically, they just write a song, busy, for an action cue, something busy with percussion, boom, 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 boom. It's not really reacting to the film. It's just kind of setting the mood. I like the other style where you scored a picture, like each moment, kind of the music reacts to each moment, right? This is somewhere in the middle. What I've written here, it sets the mood, and it does react, but the reactions are subtle. It's like key changes and things like that. So it's not every single second.
Right on time. Let's go.
Agent Hask, I'm in position.
Understood, Commander. Prepare for extraction. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so the see what sticks method can be really messy and even frustrating, especially in the beginning. When I first started as a composer, I only had a little bit of God-given intuition to lean on, but no cultivated skill set yet. So a lot of it was trial and error. I'd sit there feeling blindly on the keyboard until something clicked. And that click is a real thing. A little bell goes off in your head the moment that you land on the right motif, the right emotional weight, the right instrument choice. Over the years, that trial and error process became an internalized skill set. Now, 85% of the time, I don't need to experiment at all. I look at a scene and I already know what it needs and I just start executing. But that instinct isn't magic. It's the same messy process, just internalized and sped up through years of repetition. If you're just starting out, expect the drudgery. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's the process working exactly as it should. And full disclosure, I still sometimes get stuck. I got nothing. Nothing comes to me, and I have no idea what the scene needs. And I have to shift gears and go back to the tried and true, see what sticks. Practically, that means committing to something and actually writing it against the picture. Get a sound down, watch it and play it against the scene, but you have to be honest with yourself. Don't force anything. Don't convince yourself it's good when it's not. When it's working, you will feel it. The music and the image starts moving together instead of just sitting side by side. And that click tells you you found a piece of the puzzle. Build from there. Sometimes the discovery comes the other way around. You try something and it clarifies the scene by showing you what it isn't, what it's not, which is just as valuable because now you've narrowed the search. Either way, you're not aiming for the finished cue on the first pass. You're collecting clues, one attempt at a time until enough of them line up and the scene tells you exactly what it wants to be. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope that this has helped you. Hopefully you've gained something that you can put in your composer tool bag that will assist you down the road. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see the full rescore, there is a link to it in the description. And thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.